pleased to see what should be a rather entertaining offensive show. The series in the last 3 meetings, Purdue has won just 1 of the last 12, but Rod Gilmore, these two teams haven't faced each other for a while.
It's been a couple of years, and Hayden Fry told us that he really didn't know much about Purdue and their talent level until he started looking at them the last couple of weeks, and he said, you know, I was surprised. They've got some good players.
Iowa won the toss, deferred. Purdue gets the football. And we're underway. Chris Clopton at the 1. And Clopton is out to the 28-yard line, and we get a look at the most explosive offense in the Big Ten right now. And the man at the helm is Billy Dicken. Senior quarterback Dicken, who has had an injury-plagued career at Purdue, saw some time as a redshirt freshman, but this year, almost 61%. The Boilermakers will give a lot of different looks. Ed Watson, their tailback, out across the 30. He's out to the 33-yard line. Offensively for Purdue, Brian Alford, the senior wide receiver, 40 catches, 7 touchdowns. He's a big play guy, a stable of very talented wide receivers. Blackman, the tight end, has 8 catches this year. Up front, this offensive line, not big, but very skilled. Jim Niedrich, the best of them, just a sophomore. They've allowed just 11 sacks on the season. On second down, Watson on an inside handoff. And Edwin Watson fights his way out close to the 40-yard line. Looks like he has a first down. Defensively, the Iowa Hawkeyes, 3rd in the conference in yards given up. Jared DeVries is an animal. 31 career sacks for the junior out of Applington, Iowa. Raj Clark, the sophomore, a linebacker. Remember, he's playing for Vernon Rollins, who was just an outstanding linebacker, lost for the season with a knee injury. Ples Atkins, 2 interceptions this year, 11 career interceptions. This secondary has 15 picks in 7 games. It is a first down for Dicken and the Boilermakers. Good mobility. Lost the ball, but got it back at the 41-yard line. Kerry Cooks made the stop.
But Billy Dicken has been very good in handling the football this season for Purdue. This time he almost loses it, and what a great play on the outside by Cooks. Dicken is going to take the ball out to him, fake option. He's got an option to throw or run, and Cooks just comes up and takes him down. Great play, knocks it out there, but Purdue hangs on to the ball. And Rich, it's worth noting that Joe Tiller believes in scripting the first 15 plays or so, and they're going to test Iowa to see how they respond to things.
It's also worth noting that Purdue does run the ball successfully this year. That pass is incomplete. Was it a lateral or was it an incompletion? It skipped out of bounds, and it's an incompletion.
Hayden Fry is arguing that he'd like to have that marked as a lateral.
It would have resulted in about a 4-yard loss. A look at Hayden Fry in his 19th season as a head coach here at Iowa City. Here's another look.
It looks like he probably started the pass at about the 38, and it did stay on the 38, so it's not a lateral.
3rd down 8. Dicken caught and then dropped. Incomplete. Isaac Jones with a tumbling attempt. And Purdue must punt.
Purdue is getting man-to-man coverage right now, which is what they want. And they beat it to the inside here, but see how the receiver loses the ball. And I think that's a catch. I think he had that ball until he hit the ground. Looks like he took 2 steps before he lost it. I thought that was a catch.
One of Joe Tiller's big concerns today, punting. Danny Rogers to punt. The ever-dangerous Tim Dwight and Tony Collins back, and that's exactly what Purdue wanted. No return on the punt, which ends up at the Iowa 26-yard line. Now for these Iowa Hawkeyes. Third in the Big Ten in total yardage, and of course first in the nation in scoring. Randy Reiners last week, 8 of 15. Those are his numbers on the season. He's a sophomore and a very fiery individual. Matt Sherman injured his thumb in the final drive against Michigan. Did not play last week in a whitewashing of Indiana. Tavian Banks, left side, and Banks gets a couple of yards. Banks extremely dangerous. He had 191 yards last week. Offensively for Iowa, we've told you about Banks and Dwight. Don't forget Damon Gibson, 20 catches, 4 touchdowns, and oh, by the way, over 22 yards per catch. An offensive line that is getting better as they go. Right guard Mike Goff playing the best right now. 18 sacks allowed by the Hawkeyes this year. Second down and 9. Banks again, and he's out to the 35-yard line, short of the first down. 8-yard pickup. Defensively, the Boilermakers have played well this year. Roosevelt Colvin, the junior, 6.5 sacks, 10 tackles for loss. A linebacking trio that is very, very small. Willie Burroughs, Willie Fells, Mike Rose. Rose, 3 interceptions against Northwestern. And a defensive backfield that has 14 picks. Lamar Kennard, their leader, he's got 3 this year. Third down 1. Banks. Very close. Right on the sticks. Rod Gilmore, this is not a real big Purdue defense. How do they get it done?
Well, they have to put an extra man up front to stop the running plays. You'll see 8 men in the box. The problem with them is that they've gone to the effort of trying to get more speed on the field. So the linebackers are all about 200 pounds. And their defensive linemen aren't real big either. You look at Colvin, they list him about 240. He's probably only about 230, 235. So Iowa has a real advantage trying to run the ball inside.
Banks got just enough for the first down. Joe Tiller is a name that a lot of people are learning right now. He had a nice run at Wyoming, 10-2 last year. His first season at Purdue as a head coach. But he was a Purdue assistant in the mid-'80s. He's been at Washington State, at Wyoming. Started his playing career and coaching career at Montana State in Bozeman, Montana. Following him there at Montana State as the assistant coach, he had a young quarterback named Dennis Erickson. Banks straight ahead. Gain of nothing.
And that was Colvin. We talked about the speed just a moment ago that they've gone to here. Well, Colvin showed you his speed and quickness on that play. Looping around the outside, getting in to make the tackle. That's the Purdue defense. You want to take advantage of them, you got to get strong and pound them and go after them. If you try and run quick stuff outside, they'll run you down.
Hayden Fry in the middle there, 19th year at Iowa.
There Hayden is right there. No gloves on today.
No, I think it has to dip below 30 before Hayden really bundles up. Reiners on the option pitches on second down and long, and it's a gain of about 3 yards, albeit an adventurous gain. On the stop, Adrian Beasley, the sophomore out of Atlanta. Reiners is a little more mobile than Matt Sherman.
Well, he's pretty brash, too. I mean, this is a play you think maybe you don't make the pitch, but watch Reiners at the end. He's going to wait to the last possible second, and he's pitching that ball while his right arm was being knocked in. Very luckily, got it to Tavian Banks anyway.
Third down and 8. Iowa very good on third down this year, 40%. Tim Dwight in motion. Reiners with lots of time, going deep. Gibson can't hold it, it's incomplete. He was open and the ball was there.
You know, we talk about Dwight and Banks, but Gibson, he's part of the big three. He's a big-time player for them, and he was open on that play. He was able to get down the field, outside the pressure, and then the safety doesn't come over quick enough. You see, Reiners has plenty of time, and this ball is just a little bit long for Gibson. Just a bit out of his reach, but he was open.
Jason Baker will punt it away. Vinny Sutherland is deep for the Boilermakers. Sutherland's out to the 24-yard line. And that's where Purdue will start their second drive. No score in this one. Purdue undefeated in the Big Ten. Iowa would like to give them their first loss. Sean Salisbury as the Purdue Boilermakers get their second possession of this football game. No score. Billy Dicken on 1st and 10. Ed Watson, right side, out to the 30-yard line. The misnomer, Rod Gilmore, is that Purdue can't run the football. They're doing it already right now. No score in this one.
Well, if you think about Purdue's offense, you do think pass, but they've actually been very balanced. They've run the ball 251 times coming into this ball game, and they passed to 248. And that's about as close as you can get.
Dicken is one guy that can pick it up on the ground as well.
Okay.
Chris Clopton in the backfield. Dicken's pass is caught, and there's Alford at the 40-yard line. Let's go to the studios and Mike Adamley.
Well, Rich and Rod in Ann Arbor. Michigan inside the Minnesota 10. Brian Greasy goes back to pass. Minnesota with a 3-0 lead. He is sacked by Lamanzer Williams. Park Williams caused the fumble momentarily, and they missed a field goal inside the 20, so the Golden Gophers still lead by 3. Guys?
We saw Minnesota last week, played a very good ball game, lost by a point. 2 weeks ago, they lose by a point at Penn State. They're due.
You got to figure that sooner or later they're going to sting somebody.
The completion to Alford was a first down. Dicken back to Watson. And Ed Watson is inside Iowa territory to the 42-yard line.
You get the feeling that on the first series, Joe Taylor just wanted to get his players relaxed. Go out and run the ball, hit a little bit. Now they come back with a little bit of everything. A lot of Ed Watson. A lot of Watson, the ball out to him. That screen pass, he was wide open. And now the fun begins for Purdue. We're going to start seeing a lot of the stuff they've done all year long, getting 4 and 5 receivers out there, emptying the backfield, and throwing the ball around.
Chris Clopton is in the backfield right now. But he's a speed guy. Can't get outside, though, to the 41-yard line. It's a gain of 1. Down to the sideline, Sean Salisbury.
Thanks, Rich. You know, to back up your point and support the fact about Purdue's running game, it is important. When the perception around the country is when you stretch out an offense and stretch out a defense that the run game's not important. As you saw the statistics, the run game is important, and Edwin Watson looms large. He was challenged in a meeting this week by his coaches that he needed to run harder and make plays, and he will be a big difference in the game today. So when you spread him out, you can still run the football, guys.
Thanks, Sean. And the big reason why Kendall Matthews, the guy he's been trading off with all season long, injured, out today. Flags down, and they'll blow this one dead.
And what that means for Watson is that instead of maybe carrying the ball 13, 14 times a game, he's going to have to pick it up and carry it about 23, 25. And if that happens, will he be effective later in the ball game with so many carries? He thinks he can.
He's averaging 5 yards a carry.
Dead ball. 12 start. 5 yards. Second down.
Jim Kemmerling, our referee today. It'll move the football out to the 45 and will bring up second down and about 14.
You know, Matthews was the leading rusher this year for Purdue, but Watson was last year. So he knows how to carry the ball.
Movement, flags, probably offsides. Dicken goes down, lost the ball. It's picked up by DeVries. Jared DeVries lost it. It's still loose. It's picked up again, and this is going into the end zone. Jason House is in the end zone, but I suspect it's all coming back. Jared DeVries picked up the initial fumble. House then found DeVries' fumble. Jim Kemmerling has lost his flag, his hat, and probably his beanbag as well.
Yeah, and it's all coming back. They were offside.
Offside on the defense. 5 yards, second down.
But you know what was great about that play? I don't think DeVries fumbled. I think he dropped that ball on purpose. I think he knew the only person who could pick it up would be one of his teammates. Watch the end of the play and watch when DeVries loses the ball. But right now, Dickens tries to make a play when there's nothing there. It gets taken away. He needs to go down, but he loses the ball. Now watch DeVries. When he loses this ball, it looks like, well, it looks like maybe it was a fumble. I thought maybe he tried to give it up, but it was a fumble.
He'll take credit for it, though. He's a sharp kid.
Second and go back to second and
Yep. And it was DeVries who jumped offside.
He had company as well. There were a couple of Hawkeyes that jumped at the line of scrimmage.
Well,
it was entertaining, but all it meant was 5 yards for Purdue.
That's one of the tricks we promised.
2nd and 9. Watson. Good hole, and Watson is inside the 35, down to the 33-yard line. Raj Clark made the stop. You know, the same can be said about the offensive line of Purdue as their defense. They're not real big, but they're very skilled.
Well, and that's what they need to be in a quick pass type of offense. But, you know, Sean Salisbury's point was well taken. What's happening right now is that they're spreading out the Iowa defense, and Iowa is playing a lot of man-to-man coverage. And when Dickens sees that, his adjustment is to go ahead and run the ball. And that's what they're doing right now. When they get more zone defense out of Iowa, they'll start throwing a little bit more.
3rd down and 1. Watson in the backfield with Dickens. Got a man open, complete. Isaac Jones, who is inside the 30. Purdue moves the sticks. 1st and 10 from the Iowa 27. On to the studios and Mike Adamley. Mike?
All right, Rich and Rod, in the Ivy League, the league title lead in the conference on the line, Harvard against Dartmouth, and the reverse here, Terrence Patterson will take it 62 yards for the score. His 2nd touchdown of the game. Harvard added another score, and they lead Dartmouth unbeaten in the last 15 conference games, 21-0, guys.
First and 10, Purdue. No score. Midway through this first quarter. Ed Watson straight ahead inside the 25, down close to the 24-yard line.
You talk about what Purdue has done, the turnaround with Joe Tiller. Look at the offense. They've kicked it up. Almost twice as many points from last year to this year, and the yardage has gone up dramatically. That spread offense that Joe Tiller has, sort of a West Coast passing attack with a lot of running mixed in. And they'd like to get some points early in this ball game.
Iowa has yet to give up a point in the first quarter this year. On 2nd and 7. Play clock almost expired. Dickens will keep it. And he's down to the 21-yard line. Billy Dickens is a guy that has had some injuries. In '94 as a redshirt freshman, he had a bad shoulder injury, which also hurt his rotator cuff. In fact, in '95, his sophomore season, he had to go to the defensive backfield just to get playing time. Yeah. Last year, a broken sternum kept him out of much of the season.
Well, if he keeps running options like that towards Ryan Lofton, he may break something else. Lofton played that play as well as you can play the option.
3rd down, 3 now. Dickens pass is caught. It's Jones again to the 2-yard line.
And what a great read by Billy Dickens. He looked up. He saw the zone coverage. The linebacker tipped it, and Dickens decided to go right away to Jones. You got to have a quarterback make good decisions. Right now, Dickens sees the zone. He knows the linebacker is not in the coverage, and he's got his man Jones outside. Jones does the rest, and they are almost close to getting the first points on Iowa in the first quarter this season.
Purdue improving in the red zone as well this year, over 80%. 20 touchdowns. Dickens, little misdirection. He's in trouble. Ball is loose. The officials will call it down. No fumble.
Yeah, that was a bad play right from the start for Purdue. And that was a good call by the official at the end. The bad play was because they had things going the wrong way. Somebody ran the wrong play. And then at the end of the play, Dickens' progress had been stopped.
His forward progress had stopped.
There you go. His progress had been stopped. Watch, you'll see Iowa tries to strip the ball out at the end, and they do strip it out. But right now, he's not going anywhere. And now they just rip it out. House just rips it out. But his progress had been stopped. That's a good call.
I think his progress was stopped when they snapped the ball.
Yeah, he should have stopped, yeah.
Second and goal. Dickens throw. Watson the catch, but he's short of the end zone. On a great play by Matt Bowen. And it will bring up third down and short.
If Matt Bowen doesn't make that tackle up high like that, that's a touchdown. And that's a good play from your guy in the secondary, coming over first to pick up Watson, and then to make that tackle on a guy who's about 225 pounds.
Twelve plays on this drive, which started back at the Purdue 24-yard line. They're on their feet in Iowa City. Third and goal. In and out of the hands of Isaac Jones. Fourth and goal. Do you go for it?
Oh, I think you want to get points. I think any points you can get right now are key. Psychologically for Tiller, he needs to get on the board. Jones, this ball is right to him, and he was complaining he was held. And he wasn't. He just dropped that ball. You see, he complains at the end there that he was held, but he just missed that one.
Shane Ryan for the 3 points. And he got it. It's not an easy kick from that angle, that close in. Purdue scoring the first 3 points of the year against Iowa in the first quarter. They're up 3-0. 4 yards, 13 plays. And the Boilermakers do indeed have points. 3 of them. Kyle McCann back along with Tim Dwight and Damon Gibson. Taken by Rob Tyne. Flags go down. Tyne goes down at the 34-yard line. That line drive kick hit someone on the first wall of the Iowa receiving team. And the Hawkeyes will get tabbed with a hold. Back to the studios, Mike Adamle.
All right, Rich and Rod, last week we saw Michigan's Charles Woodson almost defeat Michigan State single-handedly defensively. Today he's doing it offensively against Minnesota. The reverse from Chris Howard. He goes the distance, 34 yards in all, to give Michigan a 7-3 lead. And in Evanston, Penn State.
Welcome back, Iowa City. Hayden Fry looking at his clipboard. The Iowa offense went nowhere with their first possession. This is their second. Randy Reiner's the sophomore quarterback. He'll put it up with time and a man. It's caught. Damon Gibson inside the 40. Gibson to the 36-yard line.
And a nice play by Gibson. But Rich, Tim Dwight has an impact on that play too. Dwight clears it out, and Gibson comes underneath. Everyone is watching Dwight, and you'll see Gibson comes across the middle of the field. They find him easily. Reiners does, and he's wide open. But it's because Dwight took so many people with him down the middle of the field as he ran a deep route.
And I think Dwight will get credit for the tackle there as well. He was coming back to block when he ran into his own man, Damon Gibson. Reiners again to the air. In trouble. Dwight with the catch, and he's caught at the 31-yard line. Pushing and shoving, and flags go down.
Well, I don't know what that's all about, because I can guarantee you this. You're not going to intimidate Tim Dwight. I mean, defensive backs will try and intimidate a receiver from time to time.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense.
but you're just not going to intimidate this guy, and he's a smart player. But watch the end of the play. Dwight stays alive to get a reception here. Hawthorne is the one who's on him. Can't tell what happens here, but he said or did something to upset Dwight, and the official agreed with Dwight on it. But you don't intimidate Tim Dwight. He's a tough cookie.
It puts the ball inside the Purdue 20, actually down to the 16-yard line. Joe Tiller not a happy guy right now. He is not a stranger to the Big Ten Conference. He was an assistant at Purdue in the mid-'80s. On 1st and 10. To the air again goes Reiners. Still on his feet. And down he goes. He fights his way to the 18-yard line. A loss of about 2. ESPN2 continues its college football coverage tonight. 6:30 as LSU heads to Kentucky. Tim Couch needs 170 yards to break the 3,000 mark. All the action on ESPN2. Your home for college football. Here in Iowa City, Purdue has scored first. A field goal. Iowa on the next possession has driven inside the 20. 75% once they're inside the red zone. Reiners, the quick look to Dwight, and it was behind him. He couldn't hold it.
And I tell you, if he gets that ball up just a little bit, Tim Dwight will get into the end zone. The defensive back was laying off of him, and Dwight made a nice cut. Ball had it been right there, I guarantee he would have just slammed that thing home. Look at the arms on that guy. Hey, Tim Dwight has some of the biggest Popeye arms you'll ever see on a wide receiver. You think he pumps a little bit of iron?
How many wide receivers have a barbed wire tattoo?
Only the tough ones.
I guess. You better be tough. Third down and 12. Quarterback draw, and Reiners is going to be stuffed. Roosevelt Colvin with a big play defensively. Let's head down to the field and Sean Salisbury.
And guys, I talked to the officials on 2 key plays. First, the Billy Dicken alleged fumble. Rodney Gilmore, you're exactly right. His progress was stopped. There was no fumble, and the knee did go down. On this drive, the personal foul on Tim Dwight, they said even though it wasn't on film, we couldn't see it. They said they pushed him after the play. Officials called on it. Back to you guys.
Good work, Sean. Zach Brommer, a 37-yarder to tie the football game. And he pushed it. And so Iowa is not on the board yet. Purdue, with 8 seconds left in this first quarter, a 3-0 lead over Iowa. We'll be right back.
Thought it was good, thought it was going to be in there to tie this ball game up 3-3. Look at it, it just barely stays to the outside, just barely missing it. He thought it was right, and Reiners thought it was right.
No points. You can see the fiery disposition of Reiners just in the 2 series that we've seen. Billy Dicken and the Boilermakers back on the field. 8 seconds left in this first quarter. Dicken has been sharp. Although movement will back this one up 5 yards.
I know that I know Sean Salisbury has been on the sidelines watching these quarterbacks very carefully. Sean, I'm sure.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. Please reset the clock. 8 seconds.
Hayden Fry down below. Tim Dwight.
I'm curious as to, Sean, as you compare these quarterbacks, how do you think they're faring right now?
I think they're both doing what they're supposed to do. They both have been pegged to be leaders, both fiery. Billy Dicken's composure in the pocket impresses me. And the one thing that Randy Reiners surprised me on a little bit, fiery guys usually start off slow. You watch Brett Favre maybe throw a ball into the stands or 2. He's been right on target and playing good football, guys.
We'll try it again with 8 seconds left in this first quarter. Dicken out of bounds. And one more play in all likelihood remains in this first quarter. Dickon is really a surprise. I mean, when Joe Tiller arrived, he wasn't really the guy, Rod, that they thought was going to run this offense.
Well, the guy was John Reeves. Reeves was the guy who stepped in last year. They thought he was going to be the future guy. And in the spring, this man, Dickon, wasn't really able to do much. Reeves was the #1 quarterback. Dickon came back over the summer, won the job. Reeves is now a backup defensive back. Billy Dickon is the man. Look what he's done in his career, over 3,000 yards passing.
Most of that yardage has come this season. Dickon on the toss. Alford breaks loose. He could go. Alford to the 20. He'll score, and Purdue is in the end zone. Brian Alford, the All-American candidate. His 8th touchdown catch. He's averaging over 110 yards per game, and Billy Dickon put it right on the money.
And what a story Brian Alford is. They almost didn't have him this season. He was academically ineligible after last season.
I think Purdue beating Iowa right now. Brian Alford from Billy Dickon. It's a spread offense. That doesn't necessarily mean you throw it down the field, Rod, but it doesn't mean it can't be explosive.
Well, if you beat the man right off the line of scrimmage, as Alford did, it's only about a 15 or 20-yard pass, but you can go a long way.
Joe Tiller, first quarter numbers, a lot of those yards coming on that last completion. Boilermakers to kick it. Okay. Chris Arntz. And Dwight will watch it over his head. Into the band it goes. And the Hawkeyes will get it at their own 20.
But here's the touchdown. You'll see that this ball gets tipped just a little bit at the line of scrimmage, but it doesn't matter. Alford beat his man right off the line of scrimmage, Ed Gibson, and that was it. No help deep for Alford to cover Alford, but once Alford got past his man Gibson, that was all she wrote. And there you see Dickon congratulating his man on still another touchdown reception. That drive of 80 yards didn't take very long, Rich. Only 8 seconds.
That's all they needed. And now Iowa. Tavian Banks is loose. Banks to midfield. Out of bounds at the 30-yard line. That didn't take long as well. 50 yards for Banks.
Now, what was this you were saying about 3 yards in a cloud of dust? Not going to happen here. Tavian Banks gets good blocking outside. You see the trap blocking. He gets right in behind it. And now once he's into the secondary, you can forget about it. He's got that 4.3 speed. And if you don't have the angle on him, as they have right here, he's gone all the way. A 50-yarder for Tavian Banks to get Iowa back in business, Rich.
Runs for Banks. This one not a big run, but a big guy is waiting back in the studios. Mike Adamle.
Yeah, Rich and Rod, sorry to tease you a little earlier, but Penn State did score against Northwestern. Curtis Enos, who else? A 2-yard touchdown run. They have the ball again. They lead 7-0. Guys?
Thanks, Mike.
Can we ISO 20?
31-yard line of Purdue. Randy Reiners and the Iowa Hawkeyes. Reiners playing for the injured Matt Sherman. On second down with time. Overthrew his man.
Oh, this is going to be an interesting test for Reiners. He hasn't been in a situation where he's had to bring his team back yet. He had a big win last week, 62-0 over Indiana. And now he's got to be the leader. He's got to bring his team back. He's been the backup quarterback. Matt Sherman out with a hand injury.
On 3rd and 11. The screen pass is caught. Rob Tyne inside the 15. Tyne will score. Touchdown, Iowa. 31 yards. And the Hawkeyes answer.
And this has been fairly typical of both these teams. They score, and they score quickly. They don't fool around with the 10, 12-play drive. They get it done in a hurry.
Reiners will hold. Brommert's kick is good. Purdue a 10-0 lead evaporates quickly. Randy Reiners to Rob Tyne. 7 points for Iowa. That man right there, Rob Tyne, a sophomore. His 2nd touchdown catch of the season. Chris Clopton, Lee Johnson deep for the Boilermakers, who went 80 yards on their last possession. High and short and down at the 24-yard line.
Well, how about this play? You're going to see Tyne get out for the screen pass, but watch, you're going to see Austin Wheatley come over and make a great block on the corner, which is really going to open up the running lane for Tyne. You see Tyne gets it right here. Now watch to the top left of your screen. There he is. Wheatley with a great block, and what a nice cutback by Tyne to find the lane into the end zone.
Now Purdue will try to answer.
You know, Tyne has only caught 3 passes this season, 2 of them for touchdowns.
Dickens, swing pass, Sutherland trying to get outside. Vinny Sutherland does. And he's out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Mike Adamle, what's up?
Well, Rich and Rod in Ann Arbor, Michigan has somebody other than Jeremy Tillman at tight end. Here, Brian Greasy rolls to his right and finds the 3rd-string tight end who dives into the end zone. That's Mark Campbell, and the Wolverines lead 14-3.
You know, Hayden Fry told us that the Michigan defense is as good as any he has seen in college football.
He said it's almost not fair.
Yeah. Well, when you can put a guy like Woodson back there, I mean, that takes away an awful lot that any team can do against you. Hayden Fry is more worried about the Boilermakers today than what Michigan did to them a couple weeks ago.
This is an offensive scheme that will worry a head coach and a defensive coordinator. Dickens fakes the reverse, flips it out, no flags down. Watson has the ball at midfield, inside the 40, and out of bounds.
And I really think that Purdue got away with one that time. Dickens was about to be tackled, and it looked like the man who was about to get him got tackled from behind himself. Dickens kept his composure and got the ball off to Watson, but I think they got away with one there. Watch the end of the play here. That looks like DeVries who's coming to make the play, and I don't think that head quite got in front. It was Malley who was coming over to make the block. That looked pretty close, Rich. What do you think?
I will defer.
Oh, come on.
For the 39-yard line. Dickens trying to get out of bounds, and he does. Purdue would like to avoid getting him hit as much as possible, but that's not easy because he's a guy that likes to stick his nose in it.
And this is a guy who played defensive back a couple of years ago. So you can talk to him and say, look, we don't want you getting knocked around a little bit. Not going to work. He's going to stick his nose in there. The thing that's really great about Billy Dickens is that he makes the right decision for this team. He doesn't have the biggest arm, but he always seems to make the right check to find the right receiver against the right coverage.
Second and 9. Inside handoff. Watson's got the first down, and he's inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. Kerry Cooks made the stop. Coming up Monday night on ABC at 9 o'clock, the Steelers and the Chiefs. Pittsburgh 7-0 at Arrowhead in regular season. Keep that in mind as the Steelers and the Chiefs go at it Monday Night Live, 9 o'clock on ABC. Rich Waltz, Rod Gilmore, along with Sean Salisbury. Welcome back to Iowa City as the Purdue Boilermakers, a 10-0 lead, saw Iowa score. And now the Boilermakers are right back in Iowa territory. Movement and a jailbreak, as they call it. Jared DeVries came across.
Good ball. Full start. The offense. 5 yards. First down.
You know what's amazing, Rod? First year, Joe Tiller arrives in Purdue, puts in this offense, which is a very complex offense. It's amazing that the Boilermakers have embraced it and flourished under it.
I think one of the reasons why that's happened is that he brought his staff with him. The coaches know it. They've known it for 10 years. So no coaches had to really learn it. They only had to teach the players.
First down, 15. Dickon checking off. Gonna go deep, got a man. Caught Alford at the 1. He is a big play guy who is having a big season.
And I'll tell you what happened. Iowa tipped it right at the start. The defensive back covering Alford was shaded inside. Alford looks at the quarterback and he says, I got the outside wide open. And when you do that, you just throw the ball up over the head of the defensive back and it's easy. There you see, all you have to do is loop it up. Alford runs underneath it. Great adjustment by Dickon. He saw it right at the line of scrimmage.
And by Alford. Communication between a receiver and a quarterback. Dickon straight ahead. And he's in. Touchdown, Boilermakers. Billy Dickon straight ahead. And the Boilermakers can make it 17-7 with the point after.
Rich, I got to tell you, I've played against this kind of an offense. And the problem you have in the secondary is that you always don't know who to line up with. They come out in different formations. It takes away your aggressiveness, and you make mistakes. And that's happening to Iowa right now on defense.
The man you played against is one of the guys that helped teach Joe Tiller this offense, Jack Elway. You saw him when he was at San Jose State. Tiller worked with him at Washington State. 17-7, Purdue. When you get into November, heck, Joe Tiller ran this thing in Wyoming.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't get cold in Wyoming, huh?
Oh, man, I've been to Laramie. It's in November, the wind blows, the snow falls, and it's cold. Tim Dwight is going to get a chance to return a kickoff. And down he goes. Oh, man. Good hit on the special teams. Mike Rose with the stop. And Iowa will put it in play now, trailing 17-7.
And Rose will hit you.
Down to the sidelines. What's up down there, Sean Salisbury?
Hey, Rodney, you made a good point. Rich, you guys are talking about coverages. Hard inside coverage by the corner. I'm standing here on the sideline saying, God, he's got to throw the fade. He's got to throw the fade, and he did. Bob Elliott, the defensive coordinator of Iowa yesterday, said, we have to disguise our coverages or we're in big trouble.
And they're in big trouble, Sean. They are not disguising them very well.
Let's see if Iowa has an answer. Tavian Banks had a big run last drive. He goes down to 21. No gain on the play. Always a gain, though, when we head to the studios. And Mike Adamley. Mike?
Well, Rich and Rod, Penn State experimenting with the big back theory against Northwestern. First Curtis Enos, now 251 pounds of Anthony Cleary. Nittany Lions lead by 2 touchdowns, guys.
Thanks, Mike. Here in Iowa City, Kinnick Stadium, 17-7, Purdue. Brian Alford has just about every receiving record they keep.
Well, there you see, over 2,600 yards, and he's the leader in history for Purdue.
A touchdown catch today. Nice move by Reiners to avoid one, but he can't get away from Mike Rose, the sophomore, who plants him back at the 12.
Well, we talked about him being a hitter. Plays a little baseball as well for Purdue. Knows how to hit the long ball. Knows how to hit the quarterback. And Reiners is just going to get outside and watch the way that, Mike just comes on up here with a nice big tackle. He's got him sized up. Drives right through him. And Sean Salisbury, I got to wonder, man, you've been in this position before as a backup quarterback. Is Reiners going to handle this okay? What are you thinking?
Obviously, as a backup, you've got to come in with a free-spirited attitude, but you've also got to play the way, be smart football, be aggressive but smart, and there's a way to do that. And if you prepare during the week, it'll happen. But one thing, a tendency to happen, a guy coming off the bench and a guy who's aggressive like Reiners, as we see the play here, is his tendency to want to make plays when they're not there. He's got to throw the ball out of bounds instead of take a sack. As a young guy, sometimes that doesn't happen. Keep an eye on that today, guys. We'll see how many mistakes he makes in that part of the game.
Sean, a good example there of a good decision by Reiners, who was scrambling, got the ball to the outside. However, a flag is sitting back at the 8-yard line. And this play may be coming back. Although the third down.
Clip on the offense. Half the distance. Repeat. Third down.
Well, they will. I don't understand why they would take this penalty. It seems to me you want to get the ball back, Rich, and you decline it and have him punt it.
The penalty was declined. Penalty declined. Fourth down.
Well, that's the right decision. And why give him another shot?
Joe Tiller makes sure that the right call was made. Sean Salisbury, what else is going on?
Oh, just about the wind, guys. The wind is continuing to be a factor, and I think they made the right call by declining the penalty. You want them to punt into this wind, and they don't want to give them a chance to get a first down and get field position. This is a game of field position. Purdue's playing it right now, guys.
Jason Baker will punt it. Vinny Sutherland lets it go, and it takes an Iowa bounce, and it rolls all the way inside the Purdue 20, out of bounds at the 17-yard line. Number 18 Purdue on top of number 16 Iowa. It's 17-7. So back on the field, charging off the sidelines. Boy, they huddle up in front of their coach Joe Tiller and come screaming right out, ready to throw these 4 and 5 wide receivers at the Hawkeye defense. Blitz coming. Watson runs right into it, and a flag goes down. Play clock had a second before the snap.
Dead ball. Full start. The offense. 5 yards. First down.
Rich, this is a real key drive for the Iowa defense. They need to get settled down. They have had problems adjusting. They haven't been covering the right guys. They've been beaten in man-to-man coverage. They got to get their confidence back.
3 straight drives have ended with points for the Boilermaker. Dickin with time over the middle, and a tumbling catch by Donald Winston just short of the first down at the 26-yard line. ESPN continues its college football coverage tonight. 7:30, Amos Zaraway and number 17 West Virginia go at it with number 24 Syracuse and Donovan McNabb. Syracuse trying to get themselves back in the Big East title picture. Catch all the action tonight only on ESPN.
Rich, right now, Iowa doesn't seem to feel like they can stop Purdue. Purdue's having it all their way, and Iowa just isn't getting it done.
Billy Dickin is getting it done. Over 200 yards now. Second down short. Great down. Alford is open, but Dickin overthrows him. And that was almost 6 more points. To the studios, Mike Adamle.
Rich and Rod, Northwestern determined not to let Penn State get too far ahead after a fake punt got them inside the 10. Farahi Leary goes in from 3 yards out, and it's 14-7. Wildcats hanging in.
Thanks, Mike. 3rd down and a yard now with 9.5 minutes left in this first half. Total yardage heavily on Purdue's side. On 3rd and 1, Watson cut inside, and he has the first down. I've been impressed with Ed Watson. He's been a hard-nosed runner.
Well, one of the things the coaches talked about yesterday, they wanted Watson to finish runs. Well, he finished that play to pick up the first down and then some. You saw him attack the line of scrimmage, took on the blocker, and then he spun for a couple more yards. That's finishing a run.
Enough for the first down. 43 yards on the ground, 48 in receptions. Watson again straight ahead, nothing doing. He's across the 30 out to the 31-yard line. We just heard Mike Adamle talk about Northwestern. A lot of people are starting to draw some comparisons between the purple of Northwestern and Gary Barnett and what Joe Tiller is trying to accomplish.
And I think there's a valid comparison. You look at what Northwestern did in '95. These teams, if you look at them, well, they both beat Notre Dame in their Cinderella seasons. They both lost to a MAC team, and they both need help to get to the Rose Bowl. Well, Northwestern got it when Ohio State lost to Michigan. Purdue would need Michigan to lose this year.
That MAC loss is the reason. In the Rose Bowl tie-breaking procedure, best overall record is the first criteria. Dick into the sidelines. It's almost picked off. Kerry Cooks smelled that one out. Watson was the intended receiver.
And that was one of the few times Billy Dicken has made a bad decision. He did not see Kerry Cooks there. He had a choice of 2 receivers, and he went to the wrong one. If Kerry Cooks had been able to step up, he would have picked this ball off. Dicken is here. You'll see him. He's got a guy coming inside. He's got Watson going outside. What's he do? He goes outside to Watson, but Cooks is right there.
And the Hawkeyes were almost looking at a 17-14 football game. 3rd down and 8. Dicken, incomplete, broken up. Our man Cooks again, Kerry the senior out of Irving, Texas.
But I think he made another bad decision. He didn't see the fact that the safety was sitting in the middle there. Matt Bowen, number 9, was waiting. And Matt Bowen, if he had jumped on that thing, would have picked it off. The Billy Dicken is a little bit out of rhythm right now in that series.
And now Iowa hoping to get to run one of their best plays in their books, a punt return. Tony Collins, Tim Dwight are deep. The Boilermakers try to punt away from them, and they do an outstanding job again. Danny Rogers, the Purdue kicker, following the script to a letter. A 49-yard punt, not returned. Right now, his Hawkeyes are down 17-7. Randy Reynolds from his own 19-yard line. Lots of time to the sideline, and it's caught by his big tight end, Austin Wheatley, out to the 30-yard line. When you talk the spread offense by Purdue, X's, Z's, Y's, but for the Boilermakers, maybe the most important guy out there today is the P. Explain, Sean Salisbury.
You're exactly right, Rich. Brandon Kazer's their distance punter, leading the Big Ten. Danny Rogers is doing the punt today. He's what they call their pooch punter. He's the guy who's the man who aims it away from those guys, and the coach, Joe Tiller, told us yesterday, they'll take 35 yards of punt and not let those guys handle it. They haven't handled the punt yet. Iowa has it, which is a big weapon for them. Keep an eye, because the punter's going to loom large, as he already has in this ballgame.
Heck, Rogers hit a 49-yard, and it wasn't returned his last time out. Out to the 33-yard line on 1st and 10. It'll bring up 2nd and 7. We go to the studios in Mike Adamle.
Well, Rich and Rod, one of the most exciting young quarterbacks in the country, junior college transfer Michael Bishop from Kansas State, 24 yards up top to Darnell McDonald. K-State leads 6-2 in the bottom of the 3rd.
K-State has a good bullpen too, Mike, so that's good news. 2nd down now and 7. for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Rod Gilmore offensively for Iowa. What's going right? What's going wrong?
Well, Tim Dwight is not touching the ball enough. That's one thing. He's only had 2 touches, 1 on a kickoff return. They've got to find a way to get him back involved in the offense. And the fact that they're punting away from him has limited what he normally does.
Randy Reiners calls a timeout, and so the Hawkeyes will talk it over. Banks in motion. Reiners hit and dropped back at the 21-yard line. Warren Moore, a redshirt freshman out of Memphis, Tennessee.
Well, they rotate the defensive linemen at Purdue to keep them fresh. And Moore was obviously very fresh on that play. He's going to beat his man, get on the inside, and then to come on in and make the play. Nobody picks him up. You see him come right up through there, and there he is all over Reiners. Great play by Warren Moore.
3rd sack of the day for Purdue. Iowa had allowed just 18 sacks in 7 games coming in. 3rd down, 17. 2 of 5 today are the Hawkeyes on 3rd down. Flags go down, and a whistle will stop this one.
A penalty marker on the flag.
Dead ball. False. On the off. 5 yards. 3rd down.
Rod Gilmore, last week in a meeting with Barry Alvarez, he was talking about Purdue, and the one thing he said, they don't have trouble moving the football. Didn't think they had it last year. He said the difference this year, defense.
Yeah, and you see it right there. The interceptions, 14 in 7 games. Yeah, they've done that a lot better than what they had last year. They're giving up fewer points than they gave up last season. And Brock Spack, the defensive coordinator, there he is right there. He's the reason why. He's got these guys playing hard, and they're running to the ball all the time.
Spack, an all Big Ten linebacker when he played at Purdue in the early 80s. Joe Tiller was an assistant coach on that team. Reiners is going to scramble, but not for long, as he's knocked off his feet at the 22-yard line. And Iowa's offense is going nowhere in a real hurry. Greg Smith made the stop.
And Fritz, can you feel it? You feel the confidence of Purdue, not just on offense, but now on defense. They're starting to feel like they've taken Timmy Dwight out of the ball game and that they can manage Tavian Banks. And on offense, they feel like they can't be stopped.
Jason Baker into punt again for Iowa. Donald Winston is deep. At his 34. And down he goes at the 37-yard line. And now the Boilermaker offense will get it with good field position.
Winston, the Boilermaker, returning to punt. Stopped by Travis Sanders and Michael Berger.
The best way to do it, if you like
the last series Billy Dicken had. Remember we talked about how he wasn't seeing the field very well. He didn't pick up guys. Well, that happened on the last 2 plays. And then on this play, he comes right back out, and he doesn't see the man. He doesn't see Thigpen, number 21, lurking right now. He thinks he's perfectly free to toss that ball up, and Thigpen is sitting right there. And Billy Dicken is just a little bit out of sync. 3 straight plays where he hasn't seen the right coverage, hasn't seen guys in his throwing lane.
First turnover of the football game. And let's see if Iowa can cash in on it. Inside Purdue territory, Tavian Banks, nothing doing. A nice play by Mike Rose to make penetration and initial contact.
Well, you got it, partner. That was the key. Rose came up from the outside, forced Tavian Banks inside so that someone else could make the tackle. You see what Iowa has done in the way of interceptions this season. That's updated. They have 16 on the year, just behind Michigan, and that's the way you get to have a winning record, taking the ball away.
Purdue is right behind those 3 others with 14 this year. Reiners getting outside. Randy Reiners inside the 35 and down to the 32-yard line. And all of a sudden, Iowa is moving the football to the studios in Mike Adamle.
Rich and Rod, a nice run by Randy Reiners, and also a nice run coming up here by Mike McQuarrie. He actually has to scramble out of trouble. He's 6'5", but he can run, and Penn State now up 21-7.
What's with all the running quarterbacks?
Well, it certainly will help your offense.
Any way you need to do it to get it done.
And that's one thing that Reiners adds to this Iowa offense that maybe Matt Sherman did not have. And a little bit of mobility. Warren Moore made the stop there on the run by Banks. I think Iowa misses Matt Sherman.
Oh, I think they do. And, you know, that's a good point. He's been out for a week now. Second week he's going to be out. And he got some unfair criticism around here the last week or so.
Well, people were talking about the Michigan game in which he threw 3 interceptions. Hayden Fry pointed out, heck, Brian Griese threw 3 interceptions in that ball game too, but he's the guy that got the praise. Iowa lost by 4 to Michigan. Reiners going to keep it. Inside the 25, he is short of the first down. And last week, after the Indiana game, when the press asked Reiners about his game, he said, you know what, Matt Sherman would have played better.
I think he's right. And Timmy Dwight was wide open on this play, and Reiners pulled the ball down. You'll see Dwight work inside on the zone, and he'll turn around. Now, he's wide open. Give me the ball. Well, Reiners doesn't have the patience, and he takes off running. Timmy Dwight has got to get the ball. Just to finish up that story on Matt Sherman, the student newspaper was critical of him, and Timmy Dwight wrote a letter to the student newspaper saying, get off my quarterback's back. He's pretty darn good.
Purdue takes a timeout. Hayden Fry told us yesterday that Matt Sherman might be back in a week or two. Definitely will be back for a postseason, and Iowa is headed in that.
It was wide open.
And the other concern that Hayden Fry has is that if Reiners sticks his nose in it a little too much, he might lose him. He would like Randy Reiners to stay in this football game. He'll keep it, and Reiners has a first down to the 20-yard line. It'll move the sticks, and the Hawkeyes continue this drive. Iowa comes into this football game at 5-2, number 16 in the nation. They're 4 wins against teams that have really struggled. The 2 losses may be their 2 most impressive games, especially the game against Michigan.
Well, they lost to Michigan. They lost to Ohio State. The Michigan game, they were up at halftime by 14 points. Michigan came back to win that ball game. So how good is Iowa? People are still trying to figure it out.
Reiners again inside the 15. It'll bring up second down.
And if you go back to Sean's point at the top of the show, which was Purdue wanted Iowa to have to beat them with Randy Reiners. And if that happens, that means you've taken away Tavian Banks. You've taken away Tim Dwight. You'll take that trade-off anytime. And right now, Randy Reiners is trying to get it done by himself, and that makes that man right there, Joe Tiller, pretty happy.
A 10-point lead, minute and a half left in this first half. Tavian Banks behind Michael Berger in the backfield. Berger gets the call, and he's inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
So just think about what's going on here. Everybody is touching the ball except for Timmy Dwight and Tavian Banks. And those are your big players. Now, maybe you need to get Gibson involved because he can make big plays for you, too. But 2 of your top 3 players on this drive haven't really been involved.
Third down 1.
I bet you Tavian Banks gets the ball on this play.
Two tight end set. Banks behind Berger. Reiners is going to keep it. He's very close. In fact, I think he has the first down. He does. He's inside the 8. And the drive continues.
Yeah, and if they pick it up, Tavian Banks doesn't get the ball, but he makes a pretty darn good block so that they can pick up the first down. You'll see him here now, fakes it, and he comes up right there. Nice block. Reiners cuts him behind it, and they get the first down.
Under a minute left. Iowa battling Purdue and the clock right now. On first and goal, it's Banks. And he is smothered. 3 men hit him before he goes down. Roosevelt Colvin, the last to get him, and Iowa must burn a timeout. They've got 1 left.
Colvin made the play, the tackle, but it was really another man who got there.
Mike Rose was there initially as well. A lot of help, a lot of pursuit. from this Purdue defense. Let's go to the studios and Mike Adamle.
Okay, thank you very much, Rich and Rod. Coming up on the Buick Halftime Report, we'll travel beyond Iowa City and check out the rest of the Big Ten, notably Michigan and Penn State. Also, we're looking on Peyton Manning and Tennessee back in action against South Carolina. That and more coming up.
And that's the good news for Iowa. The bad news is that Randy Reiner's had a tough time getting up. I think he got his bell dinged a little bit.
And Reiners will hold on this extra point attempt. He's okay. In fact, he's more than okay. Randy Reiners puts Iowa in the end zone. And the Hawkeyes, with seconds left in this first half, are within 3.
Well, Tyne is the fullback here. He's just going to slip on out. Tight end is here. He'll be open as well. And Reiners is going to get back and deliver the ball nicely. Watch the end of the play and take a look at the shot that Reiners gets. Right there, right under the chin. But he stands in tall, gets the ball to Tyne for the touchdown.
That's a tremendous catch and finish by Tyne.
It is. And it's a tremendous standing in tall finish right here by Randy Reiners. That's perfectly thrown, and what a nice job by Tyne at the end. That man has caught 4 passes this season, and 3 of them have gone for touchdowns.
2 of them today. And the big interception by Eric Thigpen sets it up for Iowa. They take it in from about midfield. With 32 seconds left in this first half, Iowa will kick it. Reiners appears to be all right. Short kick. Iowa may have it. No signal yet. Iowa has it.
Once the ball is in the air and it's gone 10 yards, it's a free ball. And Purdue didn't get on it. Iowa apparently did.
What a turn of events here.
They're giving the credit to Tarek Holman, number 2.
And still half a minute left in this second quarter.
They don't need an awful lot to get into field goal range here. You see the ball travels more than 10 yards, and nobody reacts quickly enough for Purdue to get on it. And there you see right at the end, number 2, Tarek Holman just manages to get on in there near the bottom of the pile. He comes up with the football.
Iowa has 1 timeout left from the Purdue 29. Reiners will keep it straight ahead. He goes. He's inside the 15. Clock will stop with a first down. Adrian Beasley made the stop.
Yeah, but the guy who made the play was Mr. Berger. The fullback was in there. He picked up the linebacker blitzing. Watch the middle of your screen. You'll see that's exactly what he does. He's right here. He's going to just step up. He's going to take on Fair. Stops him right now, and that allows Randy Reiners to make a play. If Berger doesn't make that block, you've got a sack.
Clock has stopped, and for what reason, I'm not sure, because Iowa rushed to the line of scrimmage to snap the ball. They restarted the clock after the ball was spotted because of the first down. Let's go down the sideline. Sean Salisbury.
Guys, the reason the clock stopped is a Purdue player was without a shoe and had told the referee he needed a little time here, and they called time. So there's 25 seconds. Works to the advantage of Iowa. It also works a little bit to the advantage of Purdue, because normally without your shoe, you got to play when it's that situation, guys.
Henry Bell without a shoe.
Please reset the clock. 22 seconds.
That's a big break for Iowa.
Yeah. They gave Randy Reiners time to go over and talk to his coaches, get settled down for what he needs to do right now.
They're going to restart this clock again. There it goes. Still with 1 timeout. Blitz coming. Reiners throws it. Dwight. Touchdown. Wow.
It's coming back.
Flag is down.
Rich, after the play, two officials on the right side got together, and they were standing right where they thought Randy Reiners threw the ball. And it was a yard beyond the first down marker. They're calling it back.
What a play, and what a break for Purdue. The other thing this did.
On the offense, the passer was beyond the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty, loss of down. The clock will start on the snap.
One thing this did, Rod, it's down to 7 seconds, and Iowa right now is lined up for a field goal. Down to 7 seconds. A 35-yard field goal to tie this football game. Final moments, first half. Blocked! And Purdue dodges a real bullet. Roosevelt Colvin got through along with Warren Moore, and Purdue will head to the locker room in a wild ending to a first half. It's a 3-point Boilermaker lead.
And a big play by Colvin being able. Well, one thing they need to do is get the ball to Timmy Dwight a little bit. And Tim Dwight is back. As you take a look at Thigpen, the man who made the big interception for Iowa in the first half, which led to scores.
It led to the tying touchdown. Of course, Iowa then recovered the kickoff, which was fumbled by Purdue. It was a wild finish to the first half. Dwight will show his shortstop abilities here. Nice pickup on the short hop. And there he goes, Tim Dwight across the 35 out to the 37-yard line. So how do you get the ball to Tim Dwight a little bit more?
Well, I think you're going to find that they can throw it to him. He has been open. They probably have told Randy Reiners to be a little bit more patient and wait for Timmy and get the ball to him. Also, maybe a reverse or two coming up with Dwight to get him involved that way.
On a reverse last week, he threw a touchdown pass. Iowa from their own 38. A lot of time. There he is. Couldn't hold it right at midfield.
Well, and that was patience. Timmy Dwight had a long way to go. Randy Reiners waited, and he waited, and he waited. And Timmy Dwight came open. You'll see just how far Dwight has to go to get open. He's got to run all the way across the field, and Reiners has to be patient, and he is. He waits and he waits. Ball just doesn't get caught. A little bit high. Timmy Dwight would normally come up with that.
Second down and 10 now for the Hawkeyes.
The good news for Iowa is that Reiners was much more patient on that first play, and that may be something that will help, as you see that Dwight has been pretty much shut out today.
On the reverse, Dwight can throw it, and he will. Back across, Banks is open. And he makes the catch at the 39-yard line.
Well, you called the throw. Talked about getting Dwight involved again. He hung this one up a little bit. If he gets it out there in any kind of fashion, Tavian Banks would still be running. But Timmy Dwight hangs it up to make sure that the play is successful. Here's the reverse, the fake reverse. Tim Dwight stops now. Tavian Banks is wide open. Nobody picks him up when he comes out of the backfield, and he has to wait on this ball. Nice grab.
First down, Iowa, inside Purdue territory. They'll mark it right at the 40-yard line. And that's Dwight in motion. Banks. Oh, man. He ran right in to Warren Moore, the redshirt freshman who's had a very active game.
He's going to be a player. I mean, Moore has been out there, 260. He has been fighting off those linemen, and he's put nice pressure from the outside. Shows he can play against the run. And the reason they bring him in a lot is he is better against the run than Roosevelt Colvin. And that's because he's heavier. He's about 20 pounds heavier than Colvin.
Reiners to the air. Has his man, Richard Willock with the catch, and Willock is inside the 30. close to the first down. To the sidelines, Sean Salisbury.
Guys, thanks. The Iowa State Troopers did a good job of limiting our access to the coaches. I did manage to ask Hayden Fry to assess his team's first half. He came up with a great and prophetic line. He said, guys, we're down by 3. Back to you.
Now that's investigative journalism at its very best.
Well, Hayden will give you that obvious.
There is not much in his 19 years here at Iowa and his 36 years as a head coach in Division I that he has not seen. 404 games coached. That is 4th all time. All time.
And he's still pretty good out there on the recruiting front.
Absolutely.
Does a good job of recruiting the Texas area, has players from Iowa, a lot of players from Iowa, and then he goes out to Texas where he has a great reputation and has done a fair amount of recruiting, bringing guys in from that state.
Fry started his head coaching career in the state of Texas. 11 years at SMU, 6 years at North Texas, and his 19th here at Iowa City. 3rd down, very short. Tyne and Berger are in the backfield behind Reiners, who might just keep it. And he does. First down, Iowa now. And the Hawkeyes on their first possession in this second half look very much in sync offensively.
And I think that's because Randy Reiners has been a little bit more patient. He seems calmer now. I think maybe a lot of the jitters that he didn't have in the first drive, he got when they got behind. And now that they've gotten closer and he had some success near the end of the first half, I think he's a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more confident.
It is not easy on an offense or a team to lose a quarterback as experienced as Matt Sherman and not miss a beat. Dwight in motion. Tyne, a rare carry, and a flag goes down as Tyne goes down at the 23-yard line. Flag came from the defensive backfield.
And I think what they're going to try and call is some holding as one of the receivers was blocking downfield.
But if it's a run play,
There is no foul. There is no foul.
They waved it off.
I think maybe one of the officials was expecting a pass and threw the flag maybe with contact downfield.
Yeah. And since there wasn't one, then he picked it up.
2nd down and 5 now. Option look, and Reiners will keep it for the first down. Randy Reiners inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. Willie Fells made the stop for Purdue.
Randy Reiners had 12 carries in the first half, 2 more here in the second half. That's 14 times he has run with the football, a little bit more than what Iowa would like for him to do. But right now, they're more concerned about points.
17-14. Purdue on top. Iowa had a great opportunity to take the lead and then at the end to tie the game. As the first half closed, they did not. Tavian Banks trying to get outside. He does. Banks with a great move. He is into the end zone. Touchdown, Iowa. Up and away, Tavian Banks.
Well, Rich, on this drive, you got the dynamic duo back involved. Tim Dwight throwing the ball, Tavian Banks finishing the touchdown run.
Zach Bromert for the extra point. And Iowa has come out and looked sharp in the second half. The Hawkeyes are on top thanks to this man, Tavian Banks. It's a 4-point lead. And Iowa on top 21-17. Purdue has not touched the football in the second half. That will change. And into the end zone it goes. Last time Iowa kicked off, Purdue fumbled it. This time they'll start it from their 20.
Pretty good blocking by Iowa on the Banks touchdown run. You'll get good blocking down, and then Matt Rochelle will come with a kick out. And that kick out will let Tavian Banks do what he needs to do. He'll just get in behind, and Mike Rose can't get there because of the kick out and the cutoff block. Tavian Banks then just does his thing, makes a man miss, and gets in the end zone.
An impressive drive, 67 yards, 8 plays, ate up 2 minutes. And now we'll see what Purdue can accomplish after the halftime. Straight ahead is Ed Watson. He'll gain a very tough 4 yards.
It's been a long time since Purdue has been on offense. You think back to their last 2 series, they had 2 bad plays. Dickin didn't see the right guy. Then the next time he came out, he threw the interception, and then it was halftime. So it's been a long time. They've got to get their rhythm back.
Dickin was very much in rhythm through the first quarter and much of the second quarter. Watson again, straight ahead, short of the first down. Jared DeVries made the stop.
Joe Tiller told us that he not only scripts plays to start the game, he scripts them for the second half. And those plays that we've seen so far look very similar to the first 2 plays that started the ball game for Purdue.
3rd down and 2. Four wide receiver set. Dickin out for the catch, and he pays the price but holds on to the 44-yard line. And it's a first down for the Boilermakers.
Oh, they can't cover Brian Alford. And they're playing man-to-man coverage. They're getting right up in his face, and he's beating them off the line of scrimmage every time. They're still trying to do the man-to-man coverage. It's not working. They're going to have to try and give some help to take care of Brian Alford. And there's a flag on the play.
Alford had the big touchdown catch in the first half. Flag down. This one may be coming back. Discussion going on. Jim Kemmerling, the referee.
Ineligible receiver, downfield, 5-yard penalty, repeat, 3rd down.
Joe Tiller can't understand that one. A 3-step play where you throw the ball. How can you have one of your linemen going downfield? Just a mental mistake by Purdue.
Unless a wide receiver was not aligned correctly. We'll see what the Boilermakers bring here. Whistle. And now the officials are going to have a discussion.
Please reset the clock. 11 minutes, 20 seconds. The 25-second clock did not start. 11 minutes, 20 seconds.
Let's take a look now, Rod, at that last play and see if it was a lineman that was downfield.
Well, we got them all in the frame right now. You can see them as the ball is snapped. Doesn't look like anybody goes downfield. So you may be right, Rich.
Yeah, that leads me to believe that maybe a wide receiver was either up on the line of scrimmage when he shouldn't have been, or off it. Down to the sideline. Sean, what's up?
Guys, I talked to the officials. One of the receivers in the slot had covered the line of scrimmage, which made him ineligible. It was not an interior lineman. Back to you.
Dickin batted down, incomplete, and the Iowa defense feeding off the offense stuffs Purdue on the Boilermakers' first drive of this second half. John LaFleur with the deflection.
Well, the ball is knocked down by LaFleur here. but they really wanted to go to Brian Alford and had to come off of it.
Danny Rogers with the punt. Looks like Dwight's going to get one. Big block. Dwight is out of bounds at the 43-yard line. And I'll tell you what, Iowa is fired up right now. The Hawkeyes with a 4-point lead and the ball and the momentum. Guys may have flinched.
Flag on the play.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5 yards, first down.
It'll be first down at 15.
First down at 15. From the 48.
Randy Reiners, who directed the Hawkeyes into the end zone, their first possession of this half.
Iowa seems to have a little bit of momentum back on their side.
Tavian Banks to the 41-yard line. It's a gain of about 6. Willie Fells and Henry Bell made the stop.
Well, Tavian Banks' numbers have gone down since they got into the Big Ten Conference, but they aren't bad. 120 yards a game in the conference, averaging over 5 yards a carry, almost 6 yards, and that's what he's done today. 86 yards on the ground with 15 carries.
50 of those yards came on 1 carry. Remember in that first half. Tim Dwight's in motion. Reiners goes down. Well played.
That's Chucky Wakori, number 49 out there. He plays opposite of Roosevelt Colvin. And Wakori is a guy who hasn't played a lot of football. He only played 2 years in high school. Spent 9 years, I believe, in Nigeria.
Yeah, he was born in Alabama and then moved to Nigeria.
He didn't know much about football. He said he's still learning how to play the game, still trying to understand the positions, the gaps, and what he's supposed to do.
Chucky Wakori. 3rd down, 14. Reiners to Banks. And out of bounds he goes. Flag down where Reiners went down.
Yeah, they're going to get him for roughing Reiners. And I think it was Roosevelt Colvin, number 59, who was back there. And what happens is that you get frustrated when they run a screen, because as a defensive lineman, you got a chance to get there and make a hit.
Roughing the passer on the defense. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
From the end of the run means first down.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, Roosevelt Colvin worked real hard to get there. And then Randy Reiners got rid of the ball. You'll see Colvin show from the right side. He's coming right there. He's going to show up, and the ball's gone now. And now he takes the shot of Randy Reiners to the upper body towards the head.
Rob Tyne, he's got 2 touchdowns today, and he's down to the 13-yard line. Henry Bell made the stop. Tyne is just a sophomore. He's a hometown kid here of Iowa City.
And watch the block by Trevor Bowlers, number 35. Right there, that nice big block opened up the lane, and Tyne gets a chance to run free because of the great block by Bowlers. That's a heck of a job.
Iowa is a veteran team. Lots of juniors, lots of seniors. Veteran teams convert mistakes. They did it the tail end of the first half. And let's see if they do it here. Tyne to the 5, and he's down to the 2. Right on the sticks. Gain of 10. Mike Rose made the stop.
Well, Tyne has stepped in where others haven't gotten it done today. He's carried the ball 3 times today for 27 yards, 2 catches for 2 touchdowns. And this is a guy who was really not featured in the offense. He'd only had 33 carries coming into the ball game and only caught 2 passes.
with much of the emphasis on stopping Dwight and Banks. Time has had a big game today. Michael Berger is in. Touchdown, Iowa.
There's your 3 yards and a cloud of dust.
Actually, it's Trevor Bowlers, 35. Bowlers with the touchdown. 27-17, Iowa on top.
Well, Bowlers was the man who had the big block earlier for Tyne. He gets rewarded with the touchdown carry.
And the kick is good. Berger 85 leading the way for Bowlers 35. And it's a 28-17 lead. The Hawkeyes are on top.
When you get the Gold Delta Sky Miles credit card from American Express, all of a sudden you start seeing things differently. Because every charge, big or small, puts you closer to free Delta travel.
Now you can...
To open this half.
And you see how they've done it. They've improved what they've done on the ground. Up now to 272 yards in the first half. Purdue 8 in the second, but Iowa 84 yards in the second half. Purdue has not had the ball very much.
Chris Clopton at his 9. Clopton out across the 30 to the 32. I called it Berger. I was told Bowlers, and upon further review, it's Berger.
Well, here's Bowlers. He's going to make a nice big block on Burrows. Berger will come in right behind him and score the touchdown. So Bowlers with the great block, all 240 pounds on the 200-pound Burrows, and then Berger just bowls into the end zone. So there you go, partner.
Little Berger, little Bowlers.
Yeah, they knew it. Look at him. Thanks, pal.
Now let's see how Purdue reacts. Down by 11. Straight ahead, nothing doing.
Well, and that's playing to Iowa's strength. I mean, when you run right inside, you let John LaFleur get going, and Raj Clark, who likes to play against the run, you let LaFleur and those guys get going, they'll stop you on first down. And that's just what they did. Now they've got to force Purdue to throw the ball where they don't want to, and that is do something with Alford. You got to handle Alford.
Shotgun for Dickon. Lots of time. There he is. You called it. Alford, first down. And about 6 Hawkeyes to bring him down.
Well, right away, Billy Dickon knew they were in zone coverage because nobody lined up over Alford. Alford was by himself. The linebacker didn't want to come out on him. So Alford says, oh, it's zone. I know. Look at this. Nobody around him. He says, it's zone right now. I'm just going to go sit down. Dickon knows where he's going to go. And Dickon threads the ball between the linebackers. Nicely done by Purdue.
That's a big completion for Billy Dickon just to get back on the...
It's huge.
On the positive side of things. He's struggled a bit in this football game. In trouble. Down he goes. Raj Clark.
And Raj Clark made a great play. When you decide to go make a play, you go make the play. And Raj Clark never hesitated. Once he saw Dickon come outside, he goes right after him full speed. And the man who has stepped in for Rollins has done a nice job. Vernon Rollins lost for the season with a knee injury. Raj Clark steps in, and he just made a big play.
Loss of 8, 2nd and 18. Dickon, incomplete. Donald Winston was open. The best way to kick off your college football weekend is during the week. Thursday. Thursday night, 7:30. Chris, Lee, and Kirk, and a weekend kickoff show. Following up this week, SEC West Showdown. Arkansas and Ole Miss. It's college football's finest, only on ESPN.
You know, Rich, it's gotten a lot tougher for Billy Dicken once Iowa went away from the man-to-man coverage. They've gone to zone coverages. They've mixed the type of zones, and Dicken has kind of lost that edge he had in the first quarter.
3rd down and 18. Iowa shows blitzing. Here they come. Dicken going to air it out. Alford, no, incomplete.
And that was the right choice by Billy Dicken. Alford didn't think the ball was going to come. He didn't really go hard out in the middle of the route, and then when he saw it coming in, he took off. Billy Dicken under pressure, just couldn't get it to him. Needed his man to give him a little bit of help down there.
Now Purdue to punt. Tim Dwight is deep. Sort of a line drive. It was, I don't know if it was partially blocked or if he just shanked it. And it ends up right at midfield.
He was trying to kick a low line drive, and he flushed out a little bit to the left, and it looks like he just kind of dropped it too low.
Danny Rogers, who was such a big part of Purdue's success in the first half, kicking away from Dwight.
Now watch him here. He kind of heads out to angles towards his left. He just drops that thing too low.
That would be a whiff.
Foul tip.
Iowa has enjoyed tremendous field position in their last 2 drives. They've put it in the end zone their last 2 drives. Reiners going there now. Oh, it's intercepted. A tremendous catch by Henry Bell. My goodness. Henry Bell. Damon Gibson was open for a moment, but Bell stole it away.
Well, with hands like that, that man ought to be playing on the offensive side. A one-handed grab. It's a 2-deep coverage. Bell is underneath. He's baiting Randy Reiners to throw that ball. And then he makes a great one-handed grab. And Gibson thought he was open, but Bell was baiting it. He was a short man. He had deep help. And, man, you can't catch it any better than that.
First interception for Reiners today. Dicken does not like what he sees.
I think he's short a player.
And they call a timeout. Excellent point. 1st and 10. Boilermaker. Iowa up 11. Incomplete. Alford in the pattern. And it's 2nd down.
Alford was claiming that he got bumped, and he did get hit. The question is, did he get hit when the ball was in the air? You see Alford making his inside move. Now he gets hit, and the ball's in the air. That ought to be a flag. That's one way to stop him.
Ed Gibson, the senior corner. Second and 10. Dicken swings it out to Ed Watson. Across the 25, out of bounds, just short of the 1st down at the 28-yard line. Jason House made the stop.
Well, and that's a nice play. I mean, when you get your running back on a linebacker and you make that linebacker play in space, he's got to run and cover you all over the field. You have an advantage on offense. Dicken got the ball to Watson, and he just showed you his flat-out speed and beat the linebacker into the flat.
3rd and 1 now. Dicken started the day 9 of 12, 2 of his last 10. Don't think he got there. Depends on the spot. Iowa may have held and might just get the ball back.
Well, and this is one of the things that coaches say in the Big Ten. You've got to be able to run the ball in this conference when you need to. You got to be able to run it to pick up first downs. You got to be able to run it to run out the clock when you have a lead. That time, it didn't look to me like they were able to pick up that 1 yard on 3rd and short. And that's one of the questions about this offense. In November, when it's cold and it's nasty, and you got to run the football at times, can you run it to pick up the tough yardage? They didn't do it right there.
And the Boilermakers must punt. And Joe Tiller does not like that, because that means Tim Dwight has another chance to touch the football.
And remember what Sean told us, the wind is bad, so Purdue is kicking into the wind.
About 15 to 25 miles an hour all day. Danny Rogers hit a ground ball up the middle his last time out. This one is a wobbler as well. And again, Iowa's field position golden. To the studios, Mike Adamler.
Well, Rich and Rod and Sean, Tennessee proving there's more to the Volunteer offense than just Peyton Manning. Here he pitches us to Jamal Lewis. This guy has got great speed, 65 yards and all he goes to give Tennessee the lead over South Carolina. They're playing them tough.
Thanks, Mike. Back at Iowa City, Rich Waltz, Rod Gilmore, Sean Salisbury, and the inability to punt the football and probably the danger of having Tim Dwight back there has been a real factor here in the second half.
5 times here, Iowa possessions have started in Purdue territory. This is the 3rd straight time. And you know they want to cash it in.
Randy Reiners threw an interception to end the last drive. Tavian Banks, flag down. Banks has a gain of about 10. And it's a hold against the Hawkeyes. Willie Burroughs made the stop.
That's going to bring it back, but Tavian Banks did a great job of stretching that thing until he got the lane he wanted. Made everyone run towards us, the line, the sideline.
On the offense, 10 yards from the spot, first down.
And then he found the lane and got up in there, but it's all coming back.
4 new coaches in the Big Ten Conference. Joe Tiller has had the most success of that quartet. I would suspect that he probably had the best situation, not only talent-wise and some seniors that can play, but also schedule-wise.
Yeah, he doesn't have to play Ohio State or Michigan. That makes a big difference.
But they've played very well, and they've gone undefeated at 4-0 so far in the conference. Banks with a carry, a gain of about 3 yards. You know, the other thing is, as you look at Tiller's number 6-1, this time last year, Purdue was 2-5. He told you he had a great year at Wyoming last year. He lost his offensive coordinator, Larry Korpitz, who came with him from Wyoming, who died of cancer in July. It was a huge blow to the program and to the coaching staff because they all came from Wyoming. They're a very, very close coaching staff. Little swing pass, incomplete, and Reiners went down in a heap.
Pass intended for Tavian Banks.
Well, the one thing that, the one positive thing, if anything positive comes out of a situation like that, is that the coaches at Purdue told us that they've grown closer. They treasure what they do a little bit more, and Joe Tiller and everyone else on that staff feels that all the coaches are more important, more special than they ever have been before. And they brought the players close, more close as well.
3rd down. And 17 now. This Purdue defense all of a sudden tightening up. Banks, midfield. To the 42-yard line, short of the first down by about 3 yards.
And Randy Reiners wants to go for it here. If I'm Hayden Fry, though, and I've got the wind at my back here. I might go ahead and kick this thing, pin them down. If you miss this thing, you've done something now to give Purdue some momentum. And Purdue right now doesn't have any momentum.
Iowa apparently will go for it on 4th and 4. But remember, an offsides call is a first down. They may just try to draw the Boilermakers offside.
Yeah, I don't like the call here.
Iowa goes for it and gets it. Tim Dwight to the 31-yard line.
Well, they pick up the first down. I still think that was too risky to do. If you miss that, you bring Purdue back into the ball game. But Tim Dwight comes up with the catch here, and they get the first down. It's just a simple out pattern. Purdue is laying off so far that Dwight's able to pick it up easily.
You know, maybe that sense of urgency that Sean Salisbury talked about with the wind at their back, they've got about 4 minutes of that wind at their backs. Quite possibly Hayden Fry is thinking, let's use it while we can. Willock in motion. Banks on a draw to the 25-yard line. Adrian Beasley made the stop. About a 15 to 20 mile an hour wind. It's been with us all day.
Well, Purdue offensive coordinator Don Patterson told us yesterday that, you know, he felt they could score and they could go along with whatever Purdue was doing, but he's made a change. He's keeping Purdue off the field. He's running the ball more than you probably thought he would have initially.
Don Patterson has been with Hayden Fry in Iowa for many years. This is a staff that has been here a long time and very successful in Iowa City. Banks over the left side. He's short of the first down. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 2. To the studios, Mike Adams.
All right, Rich and Rod, Penn State not out of the woods yet against Northwestern after capitalizing on a Mike McQuarrie interception. Adrian Autry bangs in barely from about 2 yards out. They pull to within 11. Guys?
Here, it's been all Iowa in the second half. Purdue had a 17-14 halftime lead. And the Hawkeyes have put it in the end zone twice. Mike Rose and the Purdue defense trying to hold now on 3rd down and 3. Banks. He's got the first down and more inside the 15.
What a great job that offensive line is doing right now for Iowa. Remember, we talked about Purdue being smaller, and Iowa's taking advantage of it. They're a lot bigger up front. They're starting to lean on the guys for Purdue. They're smaller defensive linemen, and it's starting to show right now. That time it was Rochelle and Goff out there leading that play.
Goff at 290. Next to him, Jeremy McKinney at 295. Rose at 275. Chad Deal at 285.
That's about a 50-pound advantage over the defensive ends out there.
Matt Reichel at 290. Reiner's tripped. He'll keep it and go out of bounds inside the 10. A gain of 5. Second down.
You know, there's just that little sense of Hayden Fry and Iowa saying, this is Big Ten football. You know, you can throw the ball around all you want, but in order to win, you got to pound it from time to time, and you got to be able to stop teams from pounding it. And they're trying to find out how tough, how strong Joe Tiller's team is.
Iowa has struggled inside the 20 today with 2 of 4. Banks out of bounds. Flag goes down behind the play. Banks is short of the first down. And it looks like it'll go against Iowa. It will.
Holding on the offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, second down.
Second down, and it'll back it up to the 18-yard line. Banks in some pretty high cotton there.
Well, that would bode pretty well for his future if you look at what he's done. Fastest man to get to 1,000 yards in Division 1A. Tavian Banks took 125. Look at Barry Sanders, took him 130 carries, and Marcus Allen 140. And Tavy Banks is going to be a first-round pick next spring, head on to the NFL.
Iowa's offense much better in the second half. Almost as many yards in the third quarter as the entire half. Here comes Reiners. Diving and short of the first down. It'll bring up third down and less than a yard.
Well, nice quarterback draw. They caught Purdue playing for the pass. Everybody flew out of there for Purdue, and Randy Reiners just took it off. Everybody's going to just take off back here, and Reiners is going to see it and then just go. See the linebackers now going back to defend the pass. They can't find him. They turn their backs. Randy Reiners sees it. He picks up the yardage. Yeah, that'll get it done.
Third down and 1 now. Time in. Touchdown. And the Hawkeyes score again. 3 third-quarter touchdowns for Iowa. And what a day that young man is having.
He's been the surprise of the day. 2 touchdown catches, and now he runs one in.
Zach Bromert finishes the deal.
It's been power football in the third quarter for Iowa, and it's a powerhouse set as you see it there. 3 guys in the backfield. You're just going to have Tyne run this power set. He'll get the blocking, gets in behind it, and there you go. Power football at its best here in the Big Ten. The 3 yards in the cloud of dust has shown up here in the third quarter. Tyne doesn't get touched until he's at the goal line. Great blocking again.
Sophomore out of Iowa City. 3 scores on the day. (35-17) Iowa on top. Back to the studios quickly with Mike Adamer.
Okay, controversial play of the day so far. Texas Tech driving against Kansas. Could take the lead. Zevi Lethbridge crosses the plane to the goal line, fumbles the ball, and the officials said it was a fumble instead of a touchdown. So K-State retains their 6-2 lead. Guys?
I told you K-State had a good bullpen.
Good bullpen, huh? Was it the righty or the lefty?
I don't know.
They still have time. They're going to have to bring their closer in.
Chris Clopton waiting for this kick. At the 2. And down he goes. In a cloud of dust at the 21-yard line. Tomorrow on The Deuce at ESPN2, Rod Gilmore and I will be participating in this in the ride-along program. The New York City Marathon. It's 10:30 on the East, 7:30 on the Pacific Coast. It's tomorrow. A $1 million bonus, Mr. Gilmore, to any runner who can break the U.S. record.
Yeah, whose back are you going to ride along on?
11 plays, 48 yards. Again, Iowa taking advantage of tremendous field position. And obviously, the flip side of that, Purdue's been backed up this entire third quarter. Incomplete. Dickin short. He was looking for Donald Winston.
I really think that the key for Iowa defensively, ever since midway through the second quarter, they went to the zone coverage. They were getting beaten man-to-man, and after they saw Alford catch the long touchdown pass on the fade, I think they said, that's enough. I think Bob Elliott said, I'm not going to do it. We can't cover him man-to-man. They're playing zone, and Dickin has had trouble. Hasn't been as comfortable since midway through the first quarter.
On 2nd and 10, Dickin, Alford, first down to the 37-yard line. Kerry Cooks made the stop. Brian Alford had a 77-yard catch and run for a touchdown in the first half. But since that first half, it's been all Iowa. 35-17, a minute left, third quarter. Joe Tiller's team going into the wind right now. They'll have it at their backs in the fourth quarter. Dickens' throw is caught. Sutherland, and Vinny Sutherland is out of bounds.
Sean Salisbury, when a quarterback has trouble, he's thrown an interception or two because he hasn't seen defenders. How does that affect him, the balance of the ball game?
Well, I think it always affects him, and it depends on how mentally tough you are, because initially you throw a pick or two or make a few bad decisions. Now you start to drop in the pocket thinking, I don't want to fail, I don't want to fail, so you don't do the normal things you do in your reads. Billy Dickens started to do a little bit of that, unlike in the first half. He's got to get his rhythm back and do what brought him here, guys, what made him the best quarterback in the Big Ten, making good decisions and playing with confidence and not worrying about results.
1st and 10 inside Iowa territory. The Hawkeye 47. Dick into the air, incomplete. Broken up by Tariq Holman. The throw was behind him. Hey, Sean.
Yes.
What's the wind like down there? We've been talking about it. You made the point that Hayden Fry wanted to really go for it in the third quarter. Is it affecting Dickens right now?
Oh, I think it is, and that's been the knock on him, other than nothing else, other than the fact he doesn't have what you call a powerful arm, and he's been going in the wind all third quarter long, and he has got to find a way. That's why they play the punch and Judy offense, quick slants to get him the ball, but he's having a little trouble in the wind. It's making a difference. We've seen it on punts and when the punter almost missed the ball also, guys.
Well, they should pick up for him in the fourth quarter then when they turn around.
Dickens with time. Oh, man. Incomplete. Matt Hughes almost had that one stick in his chest.
Yeah, it hit him in a bad place, the hands. And that's one reason why you're a linebacker. You know, if you had better hands, you'd be a fullback. But Matt Hughes, right in the middle of your screen, 37, he's just going to stand right there. His ball comes right to him. You don't get many opportunities like that. But that follows up Sean's point.
21 points in the third quarter. The reason Iowa's on top. Either Dickens saw an apparition or a receiver cut off a route, but there was not a Boilermaker within 10 yards of that throw. 3rd down and 10. Alford incomplete. And the Boilermakers must punt.
But Billy Dickens is looking into the teeth of about 8 men playing back. You see all this? He's got a picket fence to deal with. They're only rushing 4 guys. So as the quarterback, he's got to see where these guys are. He's having a little bit of trouble finding his receivers with so many black shirts out there. You see that? So many guys, 7, 8 guys in deep coverage. Billy Dickens is having a little trouble with it.
Brandon Kaiser, the long ball punter. In fact, his average is best in the Big Ten, is on. And he gets a good one away. Dwight at the 10, and Tim Dwight goes down at the 11-yard line. So finally, Purdue successful in punting the football and backing Iowa up at the 11-yard line.
And if you're a Purdue fan, you want your defense to make a play. You haven't taken the ball away from Iowa, and they have to find a way to do that.
Big Ten standings, both of these teams thinking about postseason. Certainly Purdue at 6-1 has already qualified. Iowa needs another win to get to 6. Purdue at 4-0 is still thinking Rose Bowl, but that one loss to Toledo to open the season, by no means an embarrassment. I mean, the Rockets are really rolling right now in Toledo. But still, if Michigan runs the table and Purdue runs the table, Michigan goes to the Rose Bowl. Tavian Banks straight ahead, and he is stopped at the 13-yard line.
And Michigan would go to the Rose Bowl because of having a better overall record. If they run the table, they'll be undefeated. And if Purdue runs the table, they'll have the one loss.
One thing for Purdue, though, in their history, and they've been playing football since 1887, they've been to just 5 bowl games. They will make it 6, I suspect, this year. 1 quarter left, Purdue to the win. Dwight on a reverse. He's loose. Timmy Dwight to the 40, and he's out of bounds. "49 yards in total, about 120
And not many guys at any level can do this. The stamina, the speed, the strength. He takes it here. Now he's going to go all the way back across the field. You have got to have the stamina in the third quarter to do something like this. Now the fourth quarter, look at him go. He makes how many guys miss? You got to change directions with him? I don't think so. Not a better punt returner or open field runner in college football.
And Iowa is out of a huge hole now into Purdue territory. Tavian Banks goes down on a nice play by Mike Rose, the Purdue linebacker. Well, they know about Tim Dwight in these parts. He was a high school legend. Heck, he's a legend right now for Iowa City High School.
Well, he plays the same way now as he played in high school, takes on everybody, and he played against Tavian Banks. Banks from Bettendorf High School. He and Tim Dwight played against each other in championship football.
You know what's amazing about this Iowa team? Almost all their skill players on offense are from the state of Iowa. Loose ball. Who wants it? It's picked up. Purdue has the football. Adrian Beasley, he dropped it. And I think the Boilermakers got it back. A wild scramble. Purdue has it at their own 40-yard line.
Randy Reiner's just got a little bit careless, and Mike Rose made a nice play. And Rose, the outside linebacker, was out of the play and came back in to make the play on Reiners. And Randy Reiners freezes them as he heads to the outside. You're going to see number 4 show up. Mike Rose is going to show up right now, plays off the block and comes back around, and then it's 59 Colvin who comes around to knock the ball out. But Mike Rose made such a great play to keep that inside, and Beasley picked up the fumble.
Beasley gets 2 fumble recoveries on the play. Reiners and his own. And now Purdue with the win. And it's game time for the Boilermakers. Man open, and Sutherland can't hold on. Flags down in the backfield. Wide open was Vinny Sutherland, the true freshman out of West Palm Beach.
Jared DeVries was coming inside, and they just grabbed him. They just flat out brought him down to the ground, tackled him, and they hit him for holding.
Holding on the offense. 10 yards on the spot of the repeat.
Joe Tiller right now trying to figure out a way to restart this Purdue offense, which looked like a well-oiled machine in the early part of the first half.
Well, 2 factors, the wind and also Billy Dicken being a little bit unsettled, has stifled the offense for the better part of 2 quarters.
First down and 19. Quarterback draw going nowhere. And the man at the bottom of the pile, Jared DeVries, a man that spent a lot of time at the bottom of some piles in his day. Mike Adamle, take it away, Michael.
Well, in Evanston, Rich and Rod, Penn State pretty much sealing the deal here. Anthony Cleary goes in from a yard out. Should Penn State hang on, Michigan has already beaten Minnesota. It sets the table for a battle of unbeatens next week in Happy Valley. Guys?
Thanks, Mike. 35-17. Iowa with a big third quarter on top here. Second down and long. Incomplete. It might have been a lateral. They'll call it an incompletion. And nothing is going right for Purdue right now.
Well, part of that is because Jared DeVries is doing a little bit of everything on defense for Iowa. And he's an inside tackle, probably a little bit smaller to be playing inside. That doesn't matter. He's a relentless player. He has 54 tackles for losses in his career and 31 sacks. 291 yards for tackles for losses is a school record. He's a guy that will play at the next level.
3rd and 20. Dicken with time, going deep for Jones, and it's incomplete. Jones was not open. Good coverage by Ed Gibson.
I'd call it even great coverage. And when you have a receiver pinned against the sideline, the way he's got to come over your back to try to make the play, you can't play it any better than that.
A sellout crowd at Kinnick Stadium, appreciative of the Iowa defense. which has had a big hand in this comeback.
And the reason for that is they got away from the man-to-man coverage that was giving them fits. Alfred was killing them. They went away from that, and they've had much more success since then.
Danny Rogers, the touch punter, is in, almost blocked. Collins, who has a touchdown return on a punt already this year. And down he goes at the 41-yard line. Iowa with excellent field position. What new? The Hawkeyes in charge, 35-17. Gilmore, I'm Rich Waltz. The wind continues to blow in Iowa City. Iowa 35, Purdue 17. Hawkeyes with the football on 1st and 10. Straight ahead is Michael Berger to the 44-yard line, a gain of 3. Iowa with a win here would move to 6-2, 3-2 in the Big Ten Conference. Not an easy road for them. They hit the road at Wisconsin, at Northwestern, and then home against Minnesota.
But they'll be favored in probably all 3 of those ball games. And if Iowa wins out now, that'd give them a 9-2 record. They'd be sitting very nicely in the bowl selection process in the Big Ten.
Remember, Barry Alvarez and the Badgers are sitting at home watching this one with a day off. There's Tyne again, continuing a tremendous day for this local kid out of Iowa City. He's caught 2 touchdowns. He's run for 1, and he makes a nice catch there at the 34.
Watch the play here. You're going to see Tyne. He'll just do a wheel route out there. The tight end will get free, too. So Randy Reiners really has a choice of 2. But he waits so long that the tight end draws all the coverage, and now you go to Tyne as he comes in behind it. Nicely done.
He has more touches than Dwight.
Yeah, what a day.
Tyne again inside the 30. Purdue trying to stop Iowa and the clock.
Didn't you get a sense in talking to Don Patterson that there was a lot of pride about his offense that came out as he talked about, you know, Purdue's got a great offense, but we are leading the country in about 44 points a game.
Last time he looked.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And that, you know, offensive coordinators don't just look at an opponent's defense when a team comes in. Tyne straight ahead to the 29-yard line. And it's 3rd down.
And there he is right there. There's Don Patterson, the offensive coordinator. He's got to be very happy with the way they adjusted during this ball game. They came out throwing the ball around, and they were getting into a shooting contest with Purdue. Came out in the 3rd quarter, and they said, you know, we're going to play Big Ten power football. We're going to take these smaller guys, and we're going to push them around the field. And it's worked.
And while the offense was pushing, the defense was making some big plays. Banks to the 20. He's got the 1st down, and Iowa will move the sticks and the clock.
Now, Tavian Banks has a little bit of everything. He's got some power, some speed, and he's got that shake. He's got enough shake to make people miss. He's going to make somebody miss right in here. Nice cutback. 2 guys can't make plays, and he keeps cutting back and a little shaking to get some more yardage. Tavian Banks reminds me of Ronnie Harmon, who played here and has played in the NFL for so long. Tavian Banks is going to be a star.
120 yards now for Banks. Reiners is in trouble, and he'll eat it. Blown dead. Reiners took a big hit, and it will be a Purdue sack. Crowd wasn't happy that Reiners took the hit. Let's go to the studios and Mike Adamle.
All right, guys, Kansas State breaking open a close game against Texas Tech. John Beasley subbing for the injured Michael Bishop. Takes it himself out of the shotgun formation. Finds a lot of running room down the left side to score from 33 yards out. It's 13-2 Wildcats. Guys?
Thanks, Mike. It's the worst of both worlds. Not only is the play blown dead, but your quarterback takes a hit.
Well, how many times will a quarterback get sacked and complete the pass? And Randy Reiners hangs in there long enough, even after it's blown dead, to throw the ball and complete the pass.
Second down and 10. Flag goes down. I think Dwight was in motion towards the line of scrimmage. Reiner's throw is a duck, and it's picked off, intercepted. Henry Bell, I think, got his second of the day. Flag is down, however. This is not a bad trade-off for Iowa.
Exactly. It's as good as a punt because they put the ball down at the 2-yard line, the 3-yard line.
Illegal motion on the offense. Penalty is declined. First down.
Down to the sidelines, Sean Salisbury. Sean?
Guys, the wind did have a factor in that. The wind didn't cause the wobble, the throw did, and I'll tell you why. As a quarterback, they tell you, in the wind, keep your same throwing motion. What Randy Reiners tried to do there is throw the ball too hard because he knew he was going into the wind, which caused the ball to flutter out of his hand. It hangs up there. Interception, Purdue.
It was as good as a good punt because a coffin corner kick is a good one if it gets inside the 10. This one is inside the 5. And that's where Billy Dinkin and the Boilermakers have it. Watson straight ahead, nothing doing. First man through, Raj Clark, the sophomore.
Well, I wouldn't expect Purdue to be too conservative down here because they don't have a lot of time. They've got to start moving the ball. They can't worry about pushing it out of here. They got to get down the field. Billy Dinkin will just have to make smart decisions as he's throwing from his own end zone.
Second and 10. Deflected and incomplete. Brian Alford, the intended receiver.
Well, Dinkin almost didn't make a good decision there because he's feeling a little bit of heat. He's getting some pressure as he's trying to throw the ball. Jared DeVries that time came flying in and almost got there.
Good pressure by the Iowa defense throughout the second half. DeVries has been a very, very determined defensive lineman in this half. He has spent a lot of time with his new close friend, Billy Dinkin. Little swing to Jones. Isaac Jones fighting and coming up short of the first down. And it's fourth down and about 2 with 8.5 minutes left. Purdue needs 3 scores, Rod. And at this point, it looks like they'll punt the football.
Well, we've been telling you about the pressure. Here comes DeVries again. Billy Dinkin has had to deal with that, and Purdue is now doing anything they can to stop DeVries, including holding him. And they got away with it that time.
Brandon Kaiser to punt. Don't go anywhere. Tim Dwight is deep. Flags down. Dwight stays on his feet, and he's to the 39. Yeah, he's a wonderful football player. He's a lot of fun to watch. But with the flag down, if it's offsides on Iowa, it could be a first down for Purdue. No, motion on the Boilermakers.
Illegal formation on the offense. 6 men on the line of scrimmage. Penalty is declined. First down.
Iowa on top. Purdue in a hole. Back to Iowa City.
After return, he shows you his strength, his durability. He'll take some shots. He won't go down. He'll keep spinning and fighting for extra yardage. This is a kind of effort that has helped Tim Dwight set records at Iowa. He is their top all-purpose, all-time football player.
Dwight and the Hawkeyes with a 35-17 lead and the clock moving. Rob Tyne over the left side. Gain of maybe 2. The numbers that you talked about. Receiving yardage, kickoff return yardage, over 1,000 now in punt return yardage. Only Iowa player to get over 1,000 in 3 categories. The one, you know, and he's done so much. He's had 4 punt returns for touchdowns in his career. And I think it's because it's a little easier to kick away from a guy than punt away from a guy. He has yet to return a kickoff for a touchdown. He's thrown for him. He's caught him. He's run for him. 35-17, Iowa on top. Later on tonight, the Tigers of LSU against Tim Couch and the Kentucky Wildcats. It's tonight at 6:30, 3:30 Pacific on the Deuce.
There's a Purdue player down. It looks like it's Lee Brush. They're free safety, strong safety, I should say.
Been a long day for Purdue. Iowa on top. We're back after this.
Lee Brush was injured on this play, and it's because he gets in the way of Tavian Banks. He's going to take a knee to the chin right there, and that just stuns him a little bit. He hangs on to make the tackle, but he was able to walk off the field. He's on the sideline, and he looks like he's okay.
His dad, a defensive coordinator in college at Duke, Vanderbilt, Wake Forest. Bob Brush. 3rd and 3. Loose ball. And Purdue has the football at the 33-yard line. Another turnover. Willie Fells.
Well, Randy Reiners just seemed to lose the ball coming out from center. He and Derek Rose had an exchange problem, and Fells was there to pick it up. And Hayden Fry was telling Reiners, you know, just you got to stay in there. You can't pull out that fast. And Fells just gets on the ball.
Purdue must make something happen in a hurry. Dickin, incomplete. That was almost picked off. Jason House deflected it. Gabe Cox was the intended receiver.
Well, in the long term, what this means for Purdue is that they're going to see a lot more coverages like this the next few weeks. And people are going to stop pressing them, playing the man-to-man defense up front, and they're going to come with more zone coverage.
Epinesa is down. Blocked and knocked down Jared DeVries.
Well, he's been a player all day. They were holding him, trying to keep him from getting to the quarterback, and his answer has been fine. You can keep me out that way, but I'll still get up and knock the ball down. Jared DeVries is right here. You'll see him. He's going to get up there and get his hands up when he can't make the play. He's double teamed, but he'll still get his arm up and knock this ball down.
On 3rd and 10, Dickin. Deflected, intercepted. It's Big Pen, his second of the day. And he's out of bounds. Ed Gibson got a hand on it, and Eric Thigpen finished it.
And the secondary for Iowa, after having been burned so much in the early part of this ball game, has really responded. This ball nicely thrown, but you see it was Gibson who got in front, great coverage, and knocked this ball up. Once again, it didn't appear that Purdue was able to pick up the coverage, and Gibson stepped in front to make the play so that Thigpen could come up with the interception.
Hawkeyes now with the lead, and the football. Time trying to stay in bounds and hold on to the ball.
Well, there's Thigpen. He's the man who picked it up, but he ought to be given props to his man right there, Ed Gibson, 26. Because Gibson was the guy who stepped in front, and Gibson probably should have picked it off himself, but the ball went off his hands.
After a fast start, it's been a rugged ride for Billy Dicken. 5 of his last 23.
And he'll get a chance to bounce back next week against Michigan State. And he's the kind of player that will bounce back.
Dwight on a reverse. He made something out of nothing. To the studios, Mike Adamle.
Well, guys, Northwestern throwing a fourth-quarter scare at Penn State, trailing 30-13. They scored twice. This was the second TD pass. Tim Hughes to Brian Musso underneath. The extra point made it at 30-27. However, they failed to recover the onside kick, and Penn State holds on to win by 3.
That would not help Penn State in the polls.
But they stay on track for a big showdown next week with Michigan. 3rd down and 3. Play action, Reiners. Look out. Stays on his feet. Now he'll throw it. Incomplete. Down to the sidelines. Hopefully he's in better shape right now than Randy Reiner. Sean Salisbury. Sean?
Just a bit, guys. Hey, this stadium's named after Niall Kinnick. He was a folk hero and a legend here. Won the Heisman Trophy here at the University of Iowa. Well, comparisons are being made to the obvious Tim Dwight. Also a local product from Iowa, from City High School here in Iowa. Guys, the legend started in high school. He scored 43 touchdowns, and it's continued right here as there's number 6 jerseys everywhere. Tim Dwight's got a future, not just on Saturdays, on Sundays. What building are they going to name after him, guys?
Tim Dwight is the Ken Griffey Jr. of Iowa. He is an absolute star. Reiner's end zone, incomplete. Had a man open. He was looking for Chris Knipper. Oh, maybe in 25 years we'll be saying live from Dwight Stadium.
No, not a bad choice. He'd probably have to write a big fat check to the university for that to happen, and he'll have the opportunity to do that. He's likely to be a late 1st round or 2nd round pick in the NFL. And Sean, you know, I'd like to have him on my team.
You're not kidding, you wouldn't. A few things that are hidden that we don't see. Hayden Fry calls him the best blocking receiver he has ever seen. And you know those records, guys, receiving records, punt return yardage, kickoff return yardage? Well, what even makes it more impressive is as a freshman, the guy had no receiving yards. He's had great 3 years.
He was a running back his freshman year. Dicken now, a lot of room to roam, trying to get to the sidelines, and he does. It'll stop the clock. But with 4.5 minutes left, Purdue has a long ways to go.
Well, and if you think that high school football isn't big in this area, you should have had a ride into the stadium with us this morning as we listened to the Saturday morning high school college football report on the radio as they run down all the high schools.
It's amazing, the high school football in this area. And I think that's one of the things in talking to Hayden Fry, he mentioned that it's so much easier to recruit in the state because there's more quality players in the state of Iowa now than there were when he arrived here about 20 years ago. And the proliferation of high school football. Heck, they play their games here in the Little Rose Bowl in town, the high school games.
Yeah, and the Friday nights around here are just incredible. High school football is the thing. The high school coaches do a tremendous job, and they give pretty good reports on the radio, don't you think?
That's funny. They go around and they talk to every high school coach, and they talk 5-10 minutes about his game. We saw that tape earlier of Tim Dwight and Tavian Banks playing in the same high school game. Our referee is on his way out, Jim Kemmerling.
Big games next week when you look at the schedule. Florida State, North Carolina, and Michigan, Penn State. Those will be some incredibly good ball games.
I was talking about that clip we saw of Banks and Dwight playing against each other. Dwight from Iowa City, Banks from Bettendorf. Hayden Fry was at that football game and said that's the best high school football game he has ever seen. Now, had Banks signed with Michigan, I'm not sure he would have felt that way. Look out, Billy Dickens. Oh. Jason House, another local kid, Iowa City product.
Jason House brought the house. And Billy Dickens stands in there, and he doesn't hear House, he doesn't see him, but I guarantee you, he feels him. He's feeling him right now, big time. Jason House, you don't get a shot like that too often, and he knows it. Woo.
Stripped to the ball, and Purdue will hold on to it. Epinesa made the play.
And you're not just repeating yourself.
It's his first name and his last name.
This is a great play. Epinesa will use his offhand, come around, and just knock this ball out. Right now, he can't make the sack, but he has the presence to think about getting the ball out. That's a great play.
Tony Collins and Tim Dwight are deep. Brandon Kaiser will punt. Collins, he's a good one as well, to the 38-yard line. Iowa, a big win today. Purdue will try to recoup. A dominant performance by the Hawkeyes in the second half.
How about giving some?
Rob Tyne keeps it on the ground to the 31-yard line. Time for our National Car Rental Players of the Game. Brian Alford, 5 catches, 147 yards. Rob Tyne from Iowa City, hometown boy, makes good. 3 touchdowns.
You can't name the Iowa defensive players of the game, but heck, they did a heck of a job after Purdue got on the board with their 17th point. They have shut them out pretty much since midway through the second quarter.
Tyne again, close to the first down.
Actually, Rich, you look at the numbers, Purdue scored their 17 points in the first 12 minutes and 43 seconds of the game. Since then, no points. And since that time, they've only had 82 yards of total offense.
Mike Rose, the sophomore out of Dayton, Ohio, is down. Tyne will keep it on the ground and get the first down. And he's dropped at the 24-yard line. In terms of bowls, the Big Ten could have a banner year.
Yeah, they could get 6 or 7 in there. You take a look at Michigan State sitting at the bottom at 5-2. One more win, they're eligible. A 7-2, 7-3, 7-4 record. They'll have a real good shot, as Iowa certainly is in good shape, and Ohio State looking good, Wisconsin as well. Figuring out the way the bowl system works, the champion of the Big Ten obviously will go to the Rose Bowl. And then the Alliance will have a chance to pick anyone they want before the Citrus picks. If not, the runner-up will go to the Citrus. So you very well could have 6 berths all automatically taken care of.
And there's a few at-large bids floating around with various bowl games this year. And a win here certainly for the Hawkeyes. Their 6th puts them eligible. And they've gone bowling an awful lot as of late.
Well, I think both these teams will be in. They both play good football. They play exciting football. Iowa scoring as many points as they do. They'll find their way somewhere in one of those top 3 or 4 bowls. Purdue, they'll be right in the mix as well because they can put up points very well, too. They got shut down since the second quarter here, but by and large, they put on a real good, exciting show.
Iowa will keep it on the ground. The clock will continue to roll, and it will run out on the Purdue Boilermakers. Their first Big Ten loss of the season. Joe Tiller and his team will try to regroup next week against Michigan State, while Hayden Fry and the Iowa Hawkeyes will hit the road to take on the Badgers of Wisconsin. Randy Reiners is now 2-0 as a starter, and the Hawkeyes have defeated Purdue. A final score here today: Iowa 35, Purdue 17. The Hawkeyes now 3-2, 6-2. For Rod Gilmore and Sean Salisbury, I'm Rich Waltz. Stay tuned. The Super Chevy Series from Richmond, Virginia is coming up. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.